Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today for this new video. I may be a little bit crazy. Today we are starting a challenge. As you read in the title, we are going to be making dragons. Dragons are my favorite thing to make, so I have collected quite a few patterns. I have also ordered some yarn. I know, I said I was on a yarn buying ban, okay? I still am, right? But there's a few dragons that I didn't have the yarn for and that I really wanted to make, so I bought a couple of skeins just for these dragons. I have made a collection of 30 to 40 dragons. The way this works is I'm gonna try to make as many dragons as I can. Obviously, we're not gonna be making all of them in this video. This is going to be a video series. We're here for the long run, okay? I'm probably just gonna be randomly choosing based on what my mood is, what I feel like doing that day. I hesitated. I first wanted to start with the Eastern Dragon pattern by Crafty Intentions, but I think it's a very complex pattern. So we're gonna save this one for a little later, but we will be making it. I have ordered the yarn for it. I own the pattern. I think for this video, we will start with one of the Liraloon dragons, so one of the softies one. I would like to start with the one that is sleeping in a box. So I'm gonna have to go and dig in my stash to find things. I'm gonna take you guys with me. So let's go, we're going to start with this one. Okay, so here we are with my yarn stash. Also, don't mind me wearing shoes inside. It's still my Dr. Martens shoes that I'm breaking in. So they're clean, okay? We have most of my chenille yarn either in this bin or that bin, and then we have some more here. We have some hidden behind this acrylic there, and we have a bunch here. So the first thing we're gonna do is grab this, I think, because we need a full skein of white. We're going to need a little bit of brown, so we're going to reuse this. And then comes the interesting part. We're going to need some pink and some green. There is one type of green needed and 3 different pinks, so I am not sure. I'll put all of my pinks here and we will compare. Then we still have this pink here, which is a velvet yarn. Some of this, which is a little bit different. Not sure if you can see on camera, but it's not exactly the same. And I think that's all I have. For pink. Then we have the greens. Oh no, I have another. We've got a lot more of this green here. And we should have some more green in there, but I'm gonna need to dig back in there, so. Okay, so here is the yarn selection. So we have our white and our brown here, and then we have all of these green options. Now that I see them next to one another, I think those 3 greens are out of the question. So I'm gonna have to decide between those 2. I only have this, so I'm thinking it could be enough. This one, I have another cake. I'm thinking maybe it would be a good idea to get rid of this because it's all that I have left. So I'm thinking probably we're gonna go with this. And then I am going towards those 2, but we need a 3rd color. And I am torn between those 2 and this one. These 2, I feel like they're too dusty looking. I'm kind of gravitating towards this one. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I'll see you again when I start crocheting. Okay, so first update, I have crocheted all the pieces for the wings, which we have here. I also have the 2 little pieces for the horns, the green ones, and I have done all of the leaves, and I had more than enough green. I still have all of this. Okay, so another update. It's been not even an hour, so this works up pretty quick, but I have finished the 2 horns and the 2 flowers. I also made all of the petals. Now all that is left to do is the dragon itself. Just wanted to take a little break just to show you how adorable this looks. This is the tail of the dragon and it is so cute. Oh my god, it's so soft and squishy. The yarn is so soft. I can't with how cute this is. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this dragon finished. It's going to be so amazing. So as you can see, also I have made the decision to have the tail a little bit darker. Same with the horns, and then the flowers and petals are all the lighter pink. Also, I have to think about whether I want to embroider the eyes like it is on the pattern. The dragon's sleeping, so it has like closed eyes, but I'm not sure if I want to do that or if I would rather use sinker eyes. Later, quick check-in. So I have finished the body. Oh, my stuffing job is terrible. Oh gosh. Okay, I have a tendency to overstuff things, and so yeah, I think that's what happened here because it's stretching some stitches a little bit, which I don't really like. So the body turned out, I think, about the size that was announced in the pattern, which was 35 centimeters. I believe that's 13.5 inches. And it's actually smaller than I thought it was gonna be. So that's cool, because if I'm gonna be making 30 of them, I don't know if I'm gonna keep all 30 of them, but we don't have that much space here. The smaller the better, okay? Super happy about the fact that I did not have to sew those. They were crocheted in. All I have to do left is the head and the 4 limbs. And then I think all we have to do is sew it all together. Okay, so last update for tonight, I have finished crocheting everything. So we have the 2 little ears, and they are so adorable. Oh my gosh, look at them. And then we have the 2 back legs, little chubby back legs. We have the front legs that are super cute as well. I find them very funny like this, just separated from the body. And finally, we have the head. I can't decide if it's making me think more of a dolphin head or an Airbus, but yeah, anyways. So I have everything crocheted now. I think that might be it for tonight. I'm probably just gonna go to bed and work on this on the weekend. So I'll probably see you guys on another day. Hello! So a little bit of a quick update. I can see my battery's dying for some reason, so I don't know how long I have to film all of this, but I basically finished the dragon. Yay! I didn't film any of the sewing process because I was filming a TikTok and I just hate sewing so much. Like, it usually goes the same way for me. I'll start sewing the project and then after 10 minutes things come out crooked, and so I get bored and I'm distracted, and then I just sew one random thing and then for 2 hours I don't do anything. So it took me like the entire afternoon to actually get to sewing this thing, when if I just committed I could have made that maybe in an hour or so. But I really love her. She is truly adorable. Look at all those details. Yeah, the tail. Overall, I really loved the dragon, but I hated all of the sewing, and it's just kind of scaring me for the next parts of this challenge because there is a lot of sewing to come, so I'm gonna need to get my shit together and get going because, yeah, we can't be spending like forever on sewing and just feeling unmotivated just because we have to sew a couple of things. Because honestly, this one is not very sewing heavy. Like, all of these, they're crocheted in, right? So, I mean, I still have to sew on like all 4 limbs, the wings and each part of the wings, and all of the little elements of the head, but yeah. So for the next dragon that we're gonna be working on, I spent a lot of time thinking about it because I wanted to find something that I would feel motivated doing, and I didn't want to be making 2 dragons by the same designer back to back. Also didn't want to be buying a pattern that I didn't already have just yet, you know? So I think the dragon that we're gonna go with is the Revi pattern by Snugglebeans Crochet. I'm gonna show you in a minute the colors that I am picking for this, but I have already decided what colors I want to use, and I think it's gonna be so adorable. So first, the main body color will be some black yarn, and then the dragon has 2 to 3 colors depending on like what elements the people chose, because it's a pattern where you have different options. So you can pick as many elements as you want, types of horns and whatnot. Depending on the pieces, there's like 2 or 3 colors total. So I will be using those 2 parfait chunky colors. They are colored peach and coral, and they look lovely together. Also, this yarn is a brand new skein because I couldn't be bothered to go and fetch the used one. But the last one that I used of this brand that was black, it was bleeding like crazy. My hands were stained, my hook was stained. Also, on some of the testers photos in the pattern, some people have used fur yarn. You know how some dragons have like a fur trim on the top that goes from the head to the tail? I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do this because my options for fur yarn are very limited. I believe I have only white and gray. I think. I used to have some brown, but I sold it because I was not using it. So if I'm using any, it's probably gonna be white. Ideally, I would have wanted it to be maybe yellow or pink, but I don't have any of that here. But yeah, let's get started on Revi. So it has been a few days and I have made a little bit of progress on this dragon. I finished the body yesterday. I may have overstuffed it a little bit, but I mean, I can still curve the tail, so. The yarn also is definitely still bleeding all over my hands, so yeah, my nails are a little black, unfortunately. I also worked on the head. It has options for the head, so this is option 1. Option 2 has more of a pointy nose kind of thing going on, and I didn't really like what it looked like when facing the front, so I went with head option number 1. I am at the stage where I'm supposed to pick the eyes, and in the pattern she uses the same size of yarn with a 4mm hook like I am doing. but she also uses 30mm eyes, and when I tried them on, they just looked gigantic. So I think I'm just gonna go with 25mm eyes. These eyes, I no longer have any like colorful backing that could go with those two pinks, so I'm gonna have to paint them myself, and I have a couple options for that. So I broke down my options into 3 categories. We have the pink category, so we have those 2 pinks. The second option, more of like a neutral white sparkly bluish thing. And my last option is these 2. This one is more of a greenish tone, and this one is more like a neutral blue. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna go with the blue for a little bit of contrast. I think that would be interesting. Or maybe a combination of those. Maybe some pink with some more neutral tones. I don't know, we're gonna see. I'm gonna paint those and set them aside, and then I'll probably come back to doing the wings and the legs, and I'll have to wait until probably tomorrow to insert those eyes because they're gonna need multiple layers and they are going to take some time to dry. Hello, so different day, same sweater, but I have finished the thighs and the forearms, shoulders, I don't really know. The legs are in 2 parts, so yeah. I got these adorable little balls, so yeah, there's that. I also decided to go for a belly patch, which I modified slightly. I added 2 rows to make it a little bit longer, and also because it is worked in rows and not rounds, I often find that it doesn't look very clean. And so I decided to just single crochet all around the edges to make it more clean. Yeah. That is the progress that I made. And I have also painted the eyes. It took the entire afternoon to dry, all 3 layers. So I didn't make progress on the head. So this is what they look like. So they did not really turn out how I expected them to turn out. They look fine nonetheless, but that's not really the result I was going for. I'm still gonna use them because I think they look cute, but I don't even know what to call the color. I expected them to be a little more like clustered, if that makes sense, but yeah, they just ended up mixing together. My bad, but that's okay. We're gonna use them regardless. Wow, this one I had to press pretty tight. Usually I hear it click or something, but I just kept pressing and pressing and I thought it was not going through, but it did. And I actually have to be careful because I have once split open one of the backings doing this. It went through and it didn't split immediately. It split like a day later or something. I only found out because I did not finish my project immediately, and so I realized that it had split open the next time that I went to finish the project. I think it looks lovely. I actually chose to push the eyes back a little bit from the recommendation in the pattern because I figured that it looked a little bit too close to my taste. So I think she says that you have to put the eyes 4 stitches apart, but that was really close. Even on the pattern pictures, I thought it felt a little weird, made the dragon look a little bit silly, which is a look. So if you like this, definitely go for it. But I usually like my dragons to have their eyes a little bit further away, and just my plushies in general. I don't really like when they have this kind of goofy, silly look. I find it goofy or silly at least, so. So, I finished all 4 legs as well as, yeah, all of this. So I have officially finished crocheting every single piece of this dragon, which means now that we have all of the sewing left. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, but my objective today is trying to finish this dragon. Hi, I have finished the dragon, the second dragon. Oh my gosh. She is so adorable. Oh my gosh. Her tail is a little stiff. For whatever reason, she looks like she's a bodybuilder from the front with these shoulders. But yay. Her little tail. And yeah, I ended up deciding adding the fur because I was not sure once I finished her that I really wanted to have the white. And yeah, I think it looks lovely. The eyes in the end I think work pretty well. We now have our first 2 dragons. Yay! I love them. They are so cute. So it's been, I think, close to a month and I have not recorded a single thing. For the next dragon, we're gonna start with Willow the Wood Dragon by Loops and Knots Crochet, and I adore all of her patterns. They're amazing. And she has made many different versions of this Willow the Wood Dragon. There's a small version as well on her channel, I believe, but we're gonna be making the big one. And specifically, there was one version of this dragon that she made. She posted it on Instagram, and the first time I saw it, I was so in love with it. I had to make the same one. So I know I'm not gonna be like super original and I'm just straight up gonna steal her idea, but she made a forest themed dragon. So she made a couple of changes from her base pattern, so I will have to improvise a little bit because this is not in her pattern and only the horns are available like as a mod, I think, on her YouTube channel. But yeah, so we're just gonna be making Willow the Wood Dragon but in a forest theme. We have this dark green yarn, which is the yarn that I actually bought recently, and with it we will have this other green. I also have a little bit of fur yarn because her dragon actually has a fur trim. Okay, let's start this project. Okay, so I finished the 2 wings and I really love the way that they are constructed. It threw me off a little bit at first, but it's a really smart way to make them. I'm always amazed by designers that come up with ways to create intricate shapes like these. Look at those stitches. Wow. So I'm gonna call it a night and I will come back hopefully tomorrow. It is the next day and I have been working on the first leg of the dragon, which I got right here. And it does seem that this is going to be a massive dragon. I have 3 more legs to do and then I will move on to the body. And after that, I will have to figure out every like custom part, like the horns and all of the little pieces that are not in the pattern. So let's go. so I have finished crocheting all 4 legs and it took way longer than I expected. I have also started working on the head and I am currently testing eye sizes. I have to paint those eyes, which I'm gonna do in a minute. This dragon is taking me much longer than I expected because it is bigger than I expected, but also because I don't know what is up with this yarn, but it is kind of like sticky in a way. Like, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, can you hear that sound? The yarn is literally squeaking. I don't know what is up with it, but yeah. Okay, so a little update on the forest dragon. So we're a little bit later and I have done the first layer of paint on the eyes, so I'm currently waiting for them to dry. So in the meantime, I'm going to be working on the horns. They are white horns with beige surface crochet, and I'm currently debating whether I want to be crocheting with this or not, because this is off-white and I think it looks much better than like normal pure white. And I would say there's probably about 40 grams left in this, which I'm hoping is more than enough because I no longer have any more of this yarn and it is discontinued as well. Also, it's totally unfroggable because I've had to frog it before and this is very poor quality. It just disintegrates, like it explodes the second you try to frog it. I'm wondering if I really want to take that risk, but I think we're gonna play a little game of yarn chicken here. Hi! So yesterday, while I waited for the eyes to dry, I finished 2 ears and the 2 horns. Now those were infuriating to do because the white part was actually quite fine. I think it probably took me less than 10 minutes to crochet each of those horns, but then it took about an hour just to do the like surface crochet. Like, it gets so tedious when you are at the top of the horn. Like, if I ever remake this in the future, I will definitely be surface crocheting as I go. So like crocheting 2 rows of white and then 2 rows of surface crochet, something like that, because like, no, it was just horrible. So now the eyes have dried. So now that this is done, I am going to be able to insert the eyes and then I'm going to keep going with the body of the dragon. And after this, I think the only thing that will be left will be like the detailing on the tail, the mushrooms, and just sewing it all together. Okay guys, so last update for this video, I finished crocheting our last dragon yesterday evening, but I was too tired to actually record the finished object, so I'm gonna do this now. And I am so excited to show you guys because I think it is my favorite thing I have ever made ever since I started crocheting. So let me show you. Here he is. Oh my gosh, look. He's so big it's difficult to put him in the frame, but yeah, look at him. I love him so much. All of the little details. I spent a lot of time yesterday just making all of the little mushrooms, the little flowers, and just sewing everything on and adding the moss details and all that. So it took a while. He is actually not that much bigger than the other ones. So for comparison, yeah, You see, they're pretty much the same size. It's just that this one has giant leggies and a bigger head. But yeah, they're about the same size, about the same weight. So yeah, they just have wildly different proportions, I guess. Okay, so here is our final lineup for this first video. Let me know which one is your favorite, or if there's any of those you have already made. I love them all. The last one I made, so Willow the Wood Dragon, is definitely my favorite, although they're all super cool. And I'm super excited for the next video in this series because I'm loving this challenge. I have so many more on the way. I'm pretty sure I already know what is the next dragon that I'm gonna be making, so stay tuned because there is so much more to come to this challenge. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!